We recorded them, and our city secretary would take notes and then did the written minutes. But we did use the recordings a couple of times to verify, oh, it was this. Or a councilman came in and said, no, I remember it being this way, and we'd go back and listen to it. So it's not to replace the written, but in case there's a problem later on.
But it does become a time-consuming issue when you're having 4 or 5 hour meetings, though. That becomes.
Well, and they brought up, if you have an item that's on 3 different meetings, who's gonna go through there and search through those 3, maybe 3 hour long meetings, 3 different times, to find whatever it is that they're wanting to find?
How do you feel, Mr. Lowe?
I can share, in New Mexico, we recorded, and I'm gonna tell you, it was subpoenaed constantly. So, on that aspect. So, my feeling is really what the board wants to go with, but I will tell you, it is available for the attorneys to have whenever there is a lawsuit. Let's say, whoever, if it was an employee or whoever, all you get to pull all of those cassettes. If you're, they're looking at every single word that was said from anyone, everyone, exactly verbatim that is in there, even a whisper that's on there as news that was in on that board meeting. So I've been on both sides where we've been in lawsuits over the recording. So, but that was New Mexico, and it was required for their data there. If you don't have it, I don't know if I would jump to it, but that's just how you want to do it. It's really, you're talking about really for the benefit of making sure you have the correct minutes recorded. But like I said, it gives you that opening for, anyone.
For the public.
Yeah. Public, or like I said, if it was an employee issue or something like that that was done, it's a recorded document that is an open record that can be taken. So that's, like I said, that is the board's direction and call on that. But, I just know that is one thing you need to consider, that if you're wanting, because if it's not required, I don't know.
May I ask, Mayor, what is the history with the city? Has it been requested for legal issues?
Legal issues, no. It was questions from different citizens. Well, I remember it being this way, I remember it being that way. But we do record everything in the city. We don't, and then the minutes are written, but it's there for.
But you give them a copy of the written ones, or both? Do they request both, the written and the
Some of them
recording?
request both, but very few.
How often does that happen in a year? Do you have a feeling
I
for that?
have no idea. But, like I said, if the board so chooses not to, I understand that from your standpoint. But my standpoint is, in case there's ever a question in the future, because what I remember may not be the same thing that Mr. Aiken remembers, and so on and so forth. And what happens if Marcy's not here, or, I know Claudia takes over in that point, but like I said, this was an idea that I brought up because of the fact I don't want any problems in the future.
It is a transparency thing, it does help with that aspect, so you gotta think of it on, a couple of different ways that you.
Yeah, I know the city has always done it, and and of course the FEDC does it also. They always, except for the last few months we haven't recorded, but we're getting ready to start that again.
Don't you record your meetings also?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I know some cooperatives that do it, but then, don't take it wrong, but, some of their directors take it as, it's my time to take my stand and everything else, and they use it as a political, aspect that they can be recorded and videoed for a longer period of time. So, it just depends on what their motive is for the recordings.
Well,
Would it be easier to videotape rather than audio?
You run into the same thing. The videotape would have the audio on it. Some utilities, I know a couple of them that do that, but that's just because they had issues.
Assuming the public has a right to do it anytime. So I didn't even know the background, so
Well,
the public can do it anytime.
if we approve it now, can we change it later on?
You can change anything once you ever vote
Okay,
on it. You
well-
just have to bring it up, unless you have policies or procedures that state that it has to stay there, like Like if you had a procedure manual at a utility and it was under the bylaws, it says once it's there, it can't be brought up for a year to be amended.
Mhm.
That means it has to stay for that length of time. You know, it depends on what your bylaws are. This utility, from my understanding, doesn't have bylaws. It has the city,
The system agreement is.
yeah, system agreement. So if it doesn't fall underneath that, you can always come back just the next month and take a vote and rescind, you know, really what you did.
How does that apply to closed sessions? I know, we used to have just certified agendas in closed sessions.
Closed session should not be recorded.
Okay.
We never do.
Yeah, because that is a possibility of, even at that, they fight for that in court to be subpoenaed because you have that record.
And they can be recorded on a phone. I mean,
Yeah.
now, the way the phones are nowadays.
That's correct.
You know, the whole situation, you don't have to go through like we used to with the big recorder and cassettes that stack up and could be saved as a file on a computer somewhere.
Usually you jot down some notes for your closed session, and so you know what you're discussing, not voting, but what you're discussing, because you can't vote there. And that is a separate file, just so you have that, so you know what was going on there. But a recording, like I said, that is open, possibly under a lawsuit if someone's subpoenaing that, going to court. So most people don't do that.
Since Marcy does the work, I'd like to hear from Marcy.
I was gonna say the same thing.
It's whatever the board wants.
I knew you would say that.
I know, I'm sorry, but if somebody requests it, then we'll have to send it to them, or, you know, if there's an open records request.
So we tried it for 6 months.
I wouldn't mind if we
that's
did that.
supposed to be-
If they wanted to hear the recording, they sit in here and listen to it, so they're not gonna take it out of this building.
Well, they can,
They can.
Well,
if they ask for
Open
it to be
record.
mailed.
I would like to
Records.
specify that, and they have to listen to it here, I don't know, take it out. They can record the recording, I mean, you know, then it'll be all over town.
It becomes open records,
Yeah.
so you have to be able to have
So-
it.
Right.
Could we do it on a trial basis, just to see how it works and how it affects Marcy, because I think that's important.
My only thing is I spent 5 years going to 6 years. And that basically is, I would, a very underpaid volunteer to be on this board. And the last thing I need is
More work?
somebody that's coming after me for something that has an agenda against me, to go through 6 years, trying to find one thing I said wrong to hold it against me.
Okay, so what would you recommend?
Well, I'm just telling you what's going through my mind.
Can I make a motion?
You know, I'm,
So you're being recorded right now, which.
and that's
will
fine,
be-
I'm fine, he can put that in the paper, I'm just saying, you know, I don't need that, you know? And people to use my service against me.
Well, none of us need that.
And but under today's society, they can all be scrutinized with one word we said.
I know, we've been there.
It can be used against us, even if, know how we meant it, or what, you know, how it was faced.
Exactly.
So, and we're all not experts in the Open Meetings Act and all that, so we're not trying to, at any time, trying to circumvent the public or hurt the public, but, you know, where does the board's liability end? And that's my big hiccup on the deal. So, and the public, we're not hiding it, but the public's here and the public's recording this, so.
Can I make a motion?
Excuse me, Billy. Johnny. I just changed your name, because you act like a Billy. Okay. Is
gonna
all
stay.
of our session recorded? Do we have a recording in the Wilson County News of the whole session typically?
No.
We've never.
Where are you? Do we?
Say, ask.
Like the council, do you place the meeting out there, the whole recording?
Well, yeah, I mean, usually we just put it on YouTube, so they're out there.
Okay.
Which, I don't know, that could solve your problem too, just put it out there.
So what would be the difference between having them do it and having us recording it?
Yeah, he's
He
not
would be
gonna
liable?
be, he's not gonna
Is
be
he
here every, he's not gonna be here every.
Yeah, this isn't here for this item, to be
Yeah.
perfectly
But to me,
honest, this
that's
is to see what's going on here.
immaterial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
But it's gonna be up, but it's,
Okay. So that was, just wanna give you my.
Okay,
My
thank you,
opinion.
Mark, I appreciate that. And I'm sure, okay, you can go back to making your motion.
Well, hold on a second.
See what Greg's got.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Okay.
Any information?
No, what I was thinking retention wouldn't work, okay, no.
Okay. Would you
Well-
like to make a,
My deal until the board says we're not gonna allow cameras in here, anybody wants to bring one, they can bring one. I don't see the necessity for this board to take on another aspect where we're gonna have to be thinking about, what are we gonna do with this, how are we gonna handle that?
and I guess if a board member, for their own personal benefit, can record the meetings as well. So, you know, if you're worried about that, you can do it on your own time with your own equipment, I guess.
So is it proper to call for the question,
Huh?
call for the vote?
Well, basically, somebody would have to make a motion to go yay or nay on the issue, because we do have to take action.
I make a motion that we do not
Officially.
officially start recording the minutes of the meeting.
Okay, Mr. Aiken makes a motion, do I hear a second? I will second the motion. All in favor say aye.
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 3 ayes, Ms. Castillo. All opposed,
Aye.
same sign.
Aye.
Mr. Tejeda and the mayor against motion carries.
May I just make a comment that from where I'm sitting, it looks like we're trying not to be transparent. I know the vote says no, but, that's what I think a lot of people will take from this, is that we don't want an issue in the future, so we're not gonna do it, so that's my opinion.
And that was the strong point coming from Mark and Johnny, is that we don't want problems, and if anyone wants full transparency, they can bring their own recording. So,
Mhm.
Mayor, you could even record it, put it out there on Facebook if you wanted to.
Or a newspaper can record.
Yeah,
It's not that we are gonna say or do anything that we don't need the public to know about. We just don't wanna be hounded about something that was said that may have been taken completely wrong by someone that's looking at a recording or listening to it.
All right, let's not debate closed down.
Yes,
Let's get some,
Okay.
keep on moving.
There you go.
All right. Review and action on the general manager's employment contract. I believe that was sent out to everybody for review.
we have a contract with you.
Okay, if anybody had any questions or comments on it, or issues that they believe that we should entertain before doing that, I believe we have to go into special session to discuss. If there are no issues, we would basically take action to give me the authority to sign such contract.
You're working for free today?
All week.
Well, I apologize that I missed the January 4th meeting when the decision to go forward.
Where were you?
Yeah. Emergencies come up.
Oh.
But I appreciate your coming on board with us. We look forward to the future. Went through the contract. I didn't see any issues from my standpoint. And I know that with all the interviews that we did over Skype and in person, appreciate your candor with everything.
Thank you.
So I'll make the motion to
Hey,
approve.
hold on.
I'm gonna make a motion that she,
Okay,
Oh, I'm
okay,
sorry, I
well,
didn't
y'all can
know.
work together in a second, but go ahead and finish your
Cole
motion.
make the motion.
Go ahead,
See, if there
Mayor.
was a recording, there would be a.
Well, we're gonna.
We would know exactly who made the motion.
Who made it first? Who made it first?
Go ahead,
Okay.
Mayor, if you will.
I move to
Oh.
give the chair the authority to sign the general manager's contract.
And I'll second.
You got that, Marcy? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lowe. Thank you.
Welcome, Florida.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can we have a 2-minute break while our folks from Green Star set up? Is that the next agenda item?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
And they can introduce themselves also.
all right, we'll take a bathroom break, short break.
I did that for
You
you.
go first.
Where are you guys
No,
gonna
you
be?
go first.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
I forgot, cause I
Yeah,
got
it's like-
45 minutes.
No, I'll stay up there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, maybe for Mr. Lowe to see me.
Okay, where do you need to set up?
Up to you guys.
Okay,
Set
so,
it up.
sure, we can get a couple of lights out to show you, and I wanna pack.
Okay.
couple of documents.
All right. Does that need to be plugged in?
No.